Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what can you expect from the Mike Litton Experience? You can expect stories that will inspire, motivate, advice that will sharpen your focus, and expert information on real estate, finance, and market conditions.
All of that.
Right.
And just going through that process, building that discipline, that discipline came and it went. I would do diets and I'd be like, I'm not seeing anything from this. And I would fall off the diet and then I would just go crazy eating whatever because the diet was so hard. It was so strict. I had such a hard time with it. I wasn't seeing anything and I was being emotional and I was in college and, I was stressed. So now after doing that 6 or 7 times, there was a moment where I had a click even in that, where there was one time where I was following this diet and I just at night, I'm like, I'm craving this. And I went, outside of my diet to eat something. And then I craved it more. So I had more. And then I had more and I had more and more and more. And I'm like, well, I already messed up my diet. So I might as well just eat it all.
Right.
And, it ended up being this entire thing of sweet potatoes. I probably had like 1,000 calories, like in one sitting. I remember after that moment being like, I feel so awful, both mentally and physically. Why did I do that? And what I realized or what I internalized was I created this plan myself. Nobody else is making me do this.
Right.
I created it myself and I'm doing it for myself, physically and for myself mentally. I'm trying to build a better physique. I'm trying to build a healthier lifestyle. I'm trying to do these things for myself. I'm working on myself. I'm trying to improve myself.
Right.
Why would I go against something that I created for myself?
Right.
And what it ended up being, any diet that I ever planned after that, I've never fallen off.
Yeah.
Sometimes I leave a little bit of deviance. Right now, I'm like eating 80 to 90% of my diet every day.
Right.
I switch some things out sometimes and I'm okay with that.
Right.
But I've never fallen off my diet like that again. And I had done it 7 times before in a matter of a year.
Right.
But what I realized was making things too strict, and putting yourself in a position to where you just really don't feel good is not something that you should be doing.
Right.
And it's taken me another probably 10 years since then to actually get to a point to where I've found a diet where I can maintain on a daily basis forever and feel good and keep working on myself and keep improving myself. And I just adjust that diet. But it took me 13, 14 years to get to that point. Yeah.
And it was hit and miss,
so,
right? It was, you tried something, it didn't work. You tried something, it didn't work.
I've done every fad diet out there.
Yeah. Food addiction is a real thing. It's a real thing. That's what you experienced. That's how you got off of and then binged, right? And then you were back on. Food addiction is a real thing. I learned so many things about myself. So I lost all that 104 pounds and then I got sick. And I spent 7 hours in the emergency room. Went to the doctor the next day and I said, what do I need to do? She said, you need to lose weight. I said, Doc, I've lost 104 pounds. She said, well, you need to lose more and you need to do it now. I lost 51 pounds in 90 days. Super strict diet, right? But here's what I learned. I was massively addicted to Dr. Pepper. I was massively addicted to Reese's peanut butter cups. I was massively addicted to McDonald's. They have a thing called McGriddles, right? sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Oh my goodness. Okay. You with me? Right? I was addicted to all these things that are no good for you. Okay. And until you get completely off of that and you get into a super strict diet, you don't realize how bad you had it. You don't realize, you with me? And so you get to a point to where you have to work through that. And it's a process, right? And like you said, 13, 14 years, it takes time, hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss, right? It takes time to get to that place to where you know you well enough. Okay. Because that's what this is about. This is about the conversation you're having with yourself, and it's about what triggers you, right? And then how you deal with that. Like, you talk to anybody that's gotten into really good shape, like bodybuilders, anybody, right? That's gotten into just, world-class shape. They'll tell you that they learn more about themselves than they did about anything else. Because it really comes down to how we were programmed. It comes down to how we were raised, right? Like, I was raised on a farm in Oklahoma, and we were meat and potatoes all the time. That's what we had. We had biscuits and gravy all the time. We had all this stuff that is absolutely no good for you, but we had it because that was the diet that they made. That was the diet that they knew. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go on a diet where I can't eat my carbs and protein together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Turned out to be the diet that I lost 162 pounds on. Okay. It was Suzanne Summers, Eat Great, Lose Weight, her book. That turned out to be the magic deal for me, because I can eat steak, I can eat hamburger, I can eat beef, right? I can eat fish, whatever, but I put it with vegetables. I can have potatoes. I have that with vegetables, but I have them 3 hours apart, right? Because food combining is a real deal, and it's something that you learn, and you also learn how to discipline yourself. But it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
You've been through that process now, and I've been on your website, advancedsupps.com. I've been on your website, and it is freaking unbelievable. And I knew that when I knew before we did this interview, I knew I was going to be talking to a champion. I knew for a fact I was, because you look at your website and you look at the different programs, the different plans that you put together. Nobody does that without going through what you've gone through. You with me? And coming out the other end victorious. No, I'm serious.
Can I tell you
It's
something?
really something, man. And I'm putting a link to your website in your description for the podcast interview, just so you know. So go ahead.
Yeah. Honestly, the business that I have today offers the products and the services that I wish I had earlier in my journey.
And you can see it. You can absolutely see it. When you're on the website, you can see all of the things that you've developed. And it's almost, you can tell that it's something that you always knew you wanted, and you've now delivered it for people. I mean, dude, it's awesome. It is just incredible, this journey that you've gone through.
Yeah. Well, I rebuilt the website at the beginning of November, or I launched it November 1st of 2023. And I put a lot of thought in it. Previous to that, I was nowhere to be found on the website or even on our social media.
Yeah.
I had been talking to customers for a long time where they're telling me, what is unique about your business is you.
Mm-hmm.
My mindset was always like, we've got the best products, we've got the best service. Why aren't more people talking about us? Like, we have a lot of customers that tell other people, but why is it not outpacing where I think we should be? And really the message that became clear to me is that my business is unique because of me.
Yeah.
And I don't like saying that out loud. I don't like saying that in my head either, because I want our products and our team and our brand to stand alone and be the feature of everything, not myself.
Right.
But that's what I learned was it's my standards, my story, everything that I've been through, the conversations with thousands of customers that I've had, that is what has made the business what it is.
Yeah.
That's what's made the products, the service, and the community that we have what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was hard to it took months of having conversations with people, them literally telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
It took months for me to really internalize that and be like, I guess you're right, you know. So I just launched the new website at the beginning of November, and so it's only been a couple of months, and I've had really good feedback on it. But you are the only one or the first person to really point out, like, I can see your story through your brand. That's really cool to me to hear.
Well, I've lived it. I've lived it. Okay. I've been where you were, and I've sort of come through the looking glass, right? And when I was taking your website for a test drive, right, I was blown away. And the thing that blew me away was there's a cause and effect to everything, right? And for me, I'm looking at this and going, oh yeah, okay. So this is, if you want to build muscle, this is the plan you want to be. If you want to lose weight, this is the plan you want. And by the way, here's the supplements you want to be on, and here's how much you take per day. And here, right? I mean, it's plug and play. You don't get there without having the kind of life that you've had and the kind of experience that you've had.
It's very important for me that people know how the product works, what it's going to do for you, how to take it properly, what you can combine it with. And then even as I'm having a conversation with people, and this is either face to face or via chat or email, I ask, do you need help with your diet? Do you need, because all those things are important, right? Their supplements are just supplementing everything else that you're doing.
Right.
I do not make claims that the products are going to specifically do certain things for you in terms of results. They're going to help you with the processes in your body that help you gain weight, lose muscle, and things like that. But it's really important that you know how you're going to take the product and what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, you won't. If you're just taking something to build muscle, but you don't know how to take it, you're going to end up wasting your money because you don't know how it's working. And then in turn, you're not going to be able to notice the difference or how it's helping you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people do. Now, there is a lot of deceit in the industry, of course. There's a lot of gimmicks. There's a lot of misinformation. There are a lot of really poorly formulated products. There's junk out there like any industry. But you could be taking a high quality product that is working for you and still not get the benefit if you don't know what it's supposed to do for you and taking it properly. So that's really important to me. I really want to help the people that are shopping with me. I want them to come back. I want them to tell their friends. I want to be part of their entire journey.
Yeah. Well, you can tell. I mean, you spend just a few minutes on your website, and you can tell. I mean, you did it right. You absolutely did it right. And when I was taking it for a test drive, the thing that just kept screaming at me was, this has been a journey. This has been a long journey. And I hadn't even met you yet. Okay. I just took your website for a test drive, and I knew going through it, you don't come up with these types of specific plans. You don't come up with the benefits that are on that website without effort, without drive, without discipline, without a lot of failing forward, right? Where you tried something that didn't work. You tried something else that didn't work. You tried something else, you didn't work. Your website is a shortcut for a whole bunch of people that don't have 13, 14 years to experiment. Okay. You went out and did the experimenting for them. And now all they have to do is read. All they have to do is look. And it literally tells them what to take, when to take it, what to do. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And the fact that you're where you are today is a credit to, I think, how you were raised. I think how you grew up, right? But also that epiphany that you had when you got into college. And it was like, I really want this. I want to look like this. I want to be the guy that people want me to help them move. Just kidding.
It took me a
You know
second.
what I mean, right? Right?
Yeah.
It's
I
incredible,
mean,
man.
you can, my 13-year transformation from, actually, I don't have a photo from when I started.
Yeah.
But I have a photo from when the business started.
Yeah.
And after 8.5 years, you can see how far I had come.
Yeah.
But in December 31st of this past year, 2023, looking at that photo, that's where I thought I was going to be after 4 years of college.
Mhm.
I started college, and if I saw that photo, I'd have been like, oh yeah, I think I can accomplish that by the end of my senior year.
Right.
That's what my goal was.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would talk to other people, they said, oh yeah, that's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody's body is different.
Yeah.
That absolutely is reasonable for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody also deals with different challenges. And those aren't just physical, obviously. There's the physical body types. And then, there's injuries, there's health issues, and then as you're saying, the mind is a powerful thing.
Yeah, there's
So
food dependency, right? There's chemical imbalances. There's all kinds of things that enter into this. Food addiction, right? There are all kinds of things that enter into this. We
I
have this thing
gagged.
in our brain called the amygdala, right? That thing in our brain is designed to protect us. So when you go out and you start dieting and you're trying to get your body to a certain place, that's screaming at you and going, no, 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 stop, stop, stop. You have to go back to the comfort food. You have to go back to the sweet potatoes. You have to go back to the ice cream. You have to go back to this because we were happier when you were there, right? There's less risk to you because that gland, that part of your brain is specifically designed to keep you from doing anything that might be a risk. Okay. Have you ever read Never Split the Difference? It's by Chris Voss. If you ever get a chance, read it. It's one of my favorite books. I've read it now probably 5 or 6 times. I don't know if I should admit that. That's terrible. But Voss is the man. Okay. Chris Voss is the man. And he talks about that part of your brain that's literally from prehistoric times, right? It is literally designed back when we were in caves to protect us from getting killed. Okay. It's our fight or flight mechanism, right? And what happens is if you look at anybody, and I don't care who they are, you probably have heard of Tony Robbins, but you look at anybody, David Goggins, Tony Robbins, they're all about controlling that part of their brain. So instead of their brain controlling them, they're controlling it. Okay. And what you've learned over the last 13, 14-year journey is how to control that voice, how to control that part of your brain that will talk you into, if you let it, into going back, into falling off. Okay. Into, the Snickers bar, whatever, right? You're with me, right? It'll talk you into it. And then after you do it, you're like, feel like an abject failure. Well, okay, but you now learned. Take it and learn from it. That's what you did. For 14 years, you learned, right? You went, you sometimes came up short, you learned, you kept going. To your credit, you put one foot in front of the other, and now you're where you are today. With advancedsupps.com, which is an amazing business and an amazing website. Look at what you've built. I mean, this is really cool.
I really appreciate that.
I'm proud of you, bud.
Thank you. Yeah, I would literally gag trying to eat vegetables when I started.
Yeah.
And so that took some time.
Yeah.
Learning that, things take time, took time for me to learn. And as you said, like, breaking out of, bad habits, my body adapting, those things take time. But for everybody, things will happen at a different pace. Like you said, you fall off, you just hop right back on. That really, you make the decision every day on if you're going to continue on the right track. And not every day has to be perfect. Just, as long as you're on the right track, you're moving forward. And as you're seeing the progress, it makes it so much easier to keep going. So you also have to remember that the beginning is absolutely going to be the hardest. But as we spoke about before, not knowing where to go for help is a challenge, and you will get a lot of conflicting information online. Googling different influencers, they're going to all tell you different things. Sometimes there's an agenda there. Sometimes they're just talking about their personal experience. And in a lot of cases, they haven't worked with the thousands of people to really understand how much of a difference, everybody is. So a lot of it is on you to figure out. You have to put in the work. The supplements can certainly help you go to the next level or make things easier, but you still have to put in the work. But having someone that's there, part of your journey, like myself, my team, my community, we have a forum that you can get, through the website. We have a Facebook community. All of our socials are really, it's one big, family. I post something on my personal or business page, and I feel the support from others. And that honestly keeps me motivated every day. The fact that we're making that kind of impact.
Yeah. And you've earned it, dude. You've earned it. It's been a while, and it took a while, but you've earned it. And look at where you're at today versus where you started. I'm proud of you, man. Listen, thank you so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. I cannot thank you enough. I thoroughly enjoyed our time together, and man, did it fly by fast. Yeah. You're always welcome to come back on anytime. If you have other projects or anything else that you're working on, love to have you back. Okay.
That's awesome. I really appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you, buddy. Take care. Okay. I'm proud of you.
Yep. Thanks.
We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out calendly.com/Rio760.